Have you ever found yourself wondering why some people, even those well into their 70s, 80s, and beyond, seem to possess an unstoppable zest for life, radiating energy and engagement, while others, sometimes even younger, seem to quietly fade, losing their spark long before their time? It's a question that weighs heavily on the hearts of many, a silent observation we often make as we navigate our own journeys through life. The truth, if we're honest with ourselves, can be a little uncomfortable. Many individuals, despite their best intentions and efforts to stay healthy, simply don't make it to their 9th decade with the vibrancy and quality of life they truly deserve. Or, perhaps even more disheartening, they reach those later years feeling as though they're merely existing, not truly living. But what if I told you that there are 5 often overlooked, even surprising, reasons why this pattern emerges? Reasons that aren't typically highlighted in your annual physical or on the evening news. These aren't the usual suspects like specific diseases or genetic predispositions, but rather subtle currents that can quietly steer us off course. In this video, we're going to gently pull back the curtain on these 5 surprising reasons that might be silently shortening the active, joyful years for many seniors. More importantly, we'll explore how you can recognize these often hidden factors and, crucially, how you can sidestep them to not just live longer, but to truly thrive, brimming with vitality. Well into your later years. Make sure you stay with me right to the very end, because I've saved a truly powerful and surprising insight for last. Something that might just completely change your perspective on what's possible for your own future. Let's start by uncovering the very first reason. One that often works quietly in the background, subtly eroding our longevity and our very sense of joy. The quiet erosion of purpose and meaningful connection. When we talk about purpose, we're not just talking about having a busy schedule. It's about having a reason to get up in the morning, a feeling of being needed, of contributing, of having something to look forward to. For many, retirement, while eagerly anticipated, can inadvertently trigger this erosion. The routines that define decades, a job, raising children, volunteering for specific causes, suddenly vanish or diminish. And with that, sometimes, goes the profound sense of identity and contribution. It's not just about loneliness, though that's certainly a part of it. It's deeper. It's about feeling unmoored, like a ship without a compass. Think about it. Have you noticed how some individuals, upon retiring, seem to shrivel, losing their spark, while others, sometimes even those facing significant health challenges, seem to blossom, finding new passions and projects? The difference often lies in purpose. The person who retires and then says, "Well, I guess I'm done," often declines much faster than the one who says, "Now I have the time to finally pursue my painting, or volunteer at the local library, or mentor young people." Studies consistently show that people with a strong sense of purpose live longer, healthier lives. They have lower rates of heart disease, stroke, and even Alzheimer's. It gives you resilience, a reason to fight, a reason to take care of yourself. And closely tied to purpose is meaningful connection. This isn't just about having acquaintances. It's about deep, genuine bonds with others, family, friends, community groups, even a beloved pet. When we feel truly connected, we experience less stress. Our immune systems function better, and we have a built-in support system during tough times. The danger here is that as we age, our social circles can naturally shrink due to relocation, health issues, or the passing of loved ones. If we don't actively work to cultivate new connections or nurture existing ones, that vital support network can dwindle, leaving us vulnerable to isolation, which is as detrimental to health as smoking or obesity. We are social beings by nature, and denying that fundamental need comes at a significant cost. Imagine a beautiful, intricate tapestry. Each thread is a connection, each pattern a purpose. When threads start to fray or disappear, the whole fabric weakens. So, what can you do? It's simpler than you might think, but it requires intentionality. First, actively seek out new purposes. This could be volunteering for a cause you care about, learning a new skill or language, joining a book club, teaching, mentoring, or even taking on a part-time passion project. It doesn't have to be grand, it just has to be meaningful to you. Second, cultivate connection. Reach out to old friends. Join new groups, a walking club, a dance class, a local community center. Spend quality time with family. Even simply striking up conversations with neighbors can make a difference. Consider getting a pet, if you're able, as they provide unconditional love and a daily routine. Remember, purpose gives you a reason to get out of bed, and connection gives you a reason to smile. It's about finding that next chapter, not closing the book. Now, let's talk about something else that's often misunderstood. Something that's literally under our skin, but can be surprisingly difficult to notice until it's become a major problem: the invisible threat of muscle loss, or sarcopenia, and the insidious creep of inactivity. You might think, well, I walk regularly. Isn't that enough? And while walking is fantastic for your heart and general activity, it often isn't enough to prevent the silent, gradual loss of muscle mass that begins surprisingly early in adulthood and accelerates significantly after age 60. This isn't just about looking less toned. It's about losing functional strength. The strength you need for everyday tasks, like getting up from a chair easily, carrying groceries, climbing stairs without feeling winded, or maintaining your balance to prevent falls. Sarcopenia is often surprising because its symptoms creep up on us. You might notice you're a little slower, a little weaker, perhaps a bit less stable, and you just shrug it off as getting old. But that weakness isn't inevitable decline. It's often a direct result of muscle loss. When you lose muscle, your metabolism slows down, making it easier to gain weight. Your bones become weaker because they're not getting the stimulating stress from strong muscles pulling on them. Your immune system can even be compromised. And critically, your risk of falls skyrockets. A fall can be catastrophic for an older adult, leading to fractures, hospitalization, and a rapid decline in independence. This isn't about becoming a bodybuilder. It's about maintaining enough muscle to support your frame, power your daily activities, and protect your long-term health. So, what's the surprising solution? Resistance training? Yes. Lifting weights, or using your own body weight, or resistance bands. It doesn't mean pumping iron in a gym surrounded by young athletes. It means engaging your muscles against some form of resistance regularly. This can be as simple as standing up and sitting down from a chair 10 times, doing wall push-ups, using light hand weights while watching TV, or taking a resistance band class. The key is consistency and progressive overload, meaning you gradually increase the challenge as you get stronger. Just like a gardener knows that you need to prune a plant to make it grow stronger, our muscles need to be challenged to maintain and build their strength. The misconception is that you're too old, or that it's dangerous. In reality, under proper guidance, it's one of the safest and most effective ways to maintain your independence and vitality. Even individuals in their 90s can rebuild significant muscle mass. Imagine feeling strong enough to garden for hours, to play with grandchildren without aches, or to simply navigate your home with confidence and ease. That's the power of fighting sarcopenia. Remember, your muscles are your engines of independence. Keep those engines revving, and you'll find yourself going much, much further, with greater joy and confidence. These two reasons, the loss of purpose and the decline of muscle, are powerful forces, but they are just the beginning of our journey. Next, we'll peel back the layers on another critical area that many people miss, often right on their dinner plates or in their water glass: Building on what we've already discussed, our third surprising reason hits us where we live. Literally, every single day overlooking invisible nutrient deficiencies and critical hydration. You might be thinking, but I eat a healthy diet, and that's wonderful. But often, even with good intentions, older adults can develop specific nutrient deficiencies that silently undermine their health and vitality. This isn't always about eating junk food. It's often about not getting enough of certain essential building blocks, or not absorbing them as efficiently as we once did. Take vitamin D, for example. It's crucial for bone health, immune function, and even mood. But as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at synthesizing vitamin D from sunlight, and dietary sources are limited. Many people, especially in countries with less sunlight in winter, are unknowingly deficient. Then there's vitamin B12, vital for nerve function and red blood cell production. As we get older, stomach acid production can decrease, making it harder to absorb B12 from food. Low B12 can manifest as fatigue, weakness, numbness, and even memory issues, often mistaken for normal aging. Magnesium, another critical mineral, supports hundreds of bodily functions, from muscle and nerve function to blood sugar control. Yet, it's a widespread deficiency, often due to changes in diet and certain medications. And protein. This is a big one. Many seniors don't consume enough protein. Even if they're eating balanced meals, protein is essential for maintaining muscle mass, repairing tissues, and supporting a healthy immune system, as we discussed earlier. Preventing sarcopenia relies heavily on adequate protein intake. Without enough, your body struggles to repair itself, leading to slower recovery from illness or injury, and accelerated muscle loss. Then, there's the often ignored elephant in the room: hydration. Many older adults simply don't drink enough water. Our sensation of thirst can diminish with age, meaning we don't feel thirsty even when our bodies are crying out for water. Medications can also increase fluid loss. Chronic dehydration, even mild, can lead to fatigue, dizziness, constipation, headaches, and impaired cognitive function. It impacts every single system in your body. It's like trying to run a car with an almost empty oil tank. Everything eventually starts to seize up. The surprising part here is that these deficiencies often present with vague symptoms that are easily dismissed as just getting old. Tiredness, muscle cramps, a bit of brain fog, feeling off. These could all be signs of a simple nutrient gap or chronic dehydration. So, what's the actionable takeaway first? Focus on nutrient-dense whole foods. Think colorful fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, healthy fats, and whole grains. Second, be mindful of your protein intake. Aim for protein at every meal. Think eggs, Greek yogurt, fish, poultry, beans, lentils. Third, make hydration a priority. Carry a water bottle, set reminders, and sip water throughout the day. Even if you don't feel thirsty, herbal teas and some fruits and vegetables also contribute to your fluid intake. And finally, talk to your doctor about getting your vitamin D and B12 levels checked, and discuss whether targeted supplementation might be beneficial for you. Don't wait until these invisible deficiencies become obvious problems. Think of your body as a magnificent garden. It needs the right soil, the right light, and the right amount of water to truly flourish. Now, let's turn our attention inward to something that often feels beyond our control but actually holds immense power over our physical well-being: the silent burden of unmanaged stress and a pervasive negative outlook. You might be thinking, stress. Of course, I have stress, everyone does. And you're right, life comes with its share of worries, no matter your age, but it's the unmanaged stress, the chronic, low-level hum of anxiety, worry, or even resentment that silently chips away at your health. This isn't just a mental state. It's a cascade of powerful hormones, like cortisol, flooding your system, Chronically elevated cortisol damages cells, inflames your body, suppresses your immune system, impacts your sleep, and even accelerates the aging process at a cellular level. It truly makes you older, faster. The surprising element here is how much we underestimate the physical toll of our thoughts and emotions. We often compartmentalize stress as a mind problem, but our mind and body are intricately connected. A persistent negative outlook, dwelling on past grievances, always expecting the worst, a general sense of bitterness or cynicism, acts like a constant drain on your energy. It reinforces that internal alarm system, keeping your body in a state of alert. Even when there's no immediate threat, this makes it harder for your body to heal, to recover, to truly rest and rejuvenate. Contrast this with individuals who, despite facing significant challenges, manage to maintain a sense of optimism, gratitude, and resilience. They aren't magically immune to problems, but their internal landscape allows their bodies to respond more effectively and recover faster. They adapt, they learn, and they find joy even amidst difficulties. So, what are the actionable steps to lighten this silent burden? First, recognize that stress management is not a luxury. It's a necessity for longevity and vitality. This can involve simple, yet powerful techniques like deep breathing exercises, spending time in nature, practicing mindfulness or meditation, even for just a few minutes a day, engaging in hobbies you love, listening to calming music, or spending time with people who uplift you are all forms of stress relief. Second, actively cultivate a positive outlook. This doesn't mean ignoring reality or pretending everything is perfect. It means intentionally focusing on what you can control, practicing gratitude for the blessings in your life, and letting go of what no longer serves you, whether it's grudges, regrets, or toxic relationships. Journaling can be a powerful tool to process emotions and identify patterns of negative thinking. If you find yourself consistently overwhelmed or feeling hopeless, please consider seeking support from a counselor or therapist. It's a sign of strength, not weakness. To ask for help, think of your mind as a garden. If you let weeds grow unchecked, they'll choke out the beautiful flowers. But if you actively tend to it, planting seeds of positivity and pulling out the weeds of worry, your garden will flourish, and so will you. We've covered some really powerful, often unseen, reasons that impact how long and how well we live. But there's one more crucial piece of the puzzle, a reason that many people simply dismiss until it's too late. It's about paying attention to the subtle whispers of our bodies and how we interpret them. And that brings us to our fifth and final surprising reason, one that is perhaps the most insidious because it preys on our very perception of aging, the tendency to dismiss small changes as just getting old. This is a profoundly common trap. You start to notice a new ache in your knee, a little more fatigue in the afternoons. Perhaps your memory isn't quite as sharp as it used to be, or your digestion feels a bit off. What's the immediate, almost automatic thought for many? Oh, well, that's just part of getting older. And while it's true that our bodies change as we age, this blanket dismissal can be incredibly dangerous. It leads us to ignore vital early warning signs, to accept decline as inevitable rather than reversible, and to delay seeking solutions that could significantly improve our quality of life and even extend our healthy years. The surprising aspect here lies in our mindset. We've been conditioned to believe that aging means a steady, unavoidable march towards decline. So, when a new symptom appears, we immediately slot it into that narrative. We become complacent. We might have a consistent little cough, or persistent heartburn, or a nagging pain in our back, instead of investigating it. Considering dietary changes, specific exercises, or a doctor's visit, we simply write it off. It's just my age. But often, these seemingly minor issues are not inevitable consequences of the calendar. They can be signs of nutrient deficiencies we discussed, unresolved stress, insufficient movement, inflammatory responses to certain foods, early stages of a treatable condition, or simply areas where our bodies need a little extra support and attention. Think about the impact of this mindset. If you believe your memory is inevitably going to fade, you're less likely to engage in brain-stimulating activities or address underlying issues like sleep quality or nutrient intake that could be impacting it. If you believe joint pain is just old age, you might stop moving, which actually makes the pain worse and contributes to muscle loss. This dismissive attitude creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. We stop being curious, we stop being proactive, and we stop asking, what if this isn't normal? What if I can do something about this? This is truly the most surprising reason because it's so deeply ingrained in our collective understanding of aging. Yet it has such profound consequences. It steals our power to intervene, to adapt, and to thrive. So, how do we counteract this pervasive mindset? It starts with a simple shift. Adopt a curious, proactive approach to your own health. When a new ache or change appears, instead of immediately dismissing it, ask yourself, what could this be? Is there something I can change? Is this a signal my body is sending me? Listen to your body's whispers before they become shouts. Don't be afraid to research, to ask your doctor detailed questions, to seek second opinions, or to explore complementary therapies. Experiment with small changes, a new way of eating, a different type of movement, a stress reduction technique, and observe how your body responds. Remember, aging is a natural process, but disease and debility are not necessarily inherent parts of it. Many age-related symptoms are treatable, preventable, or at least manageable. If we are willing to investigate and take action, embrace learning, embrace adapting, and embrace the idea that you have far more agency over your health than you might have been led to believe. Just like a skilled mechanic doesn't dismiss a strange sound in an engine as just getting old, but investigates and fixes it. You too can be the mechanic of your own amazing body. This proactive mindset, this refusal to simply accept decline, is the truly surprising key that unlocks so much more vitality and longevity. So, there you have it, our 5 surprising reasons why so many seniors don't live past 80, not just in terms of years, but in terms of vitality, the quiet erosion of purpose and meaningful connection, the invisible threat of muscle loss or sarcopenia, and the insidious creep of inactivity. Overlooking crucial invisible nutrient deficiencies and critical hydration, the silent burden of unmanaged stress and a pervasive negative outlook. And finally, the subtle but devastating habit of dismissing small changes as just getting old. Remember, none of these are death sentences. In fact, understanding them is your superpower. It's about recognizing the hidden currents that can pull us off course, and then intentionally steering ourselves towards a future filled with more energy, more joy, and more active years. Small, consistent shifts in how you live, how you think, and how you care for yourself can make an astonishing difference. You have far more control over your health and your future than you might think. Every single day is a new opportunity to choose vitality, to choose engagement, to choose growth, and to actively craft the later chapters of your life into something truly magnificent. Don't let those common pitfalls catch you unaware or diminish your potential. I genuinely love to hear from you. Which of these 5 surprising reasons resonated most deeply with you? Have you experienced any of these patterns yourself, either personally or through someone you know? And what steps did you take to address them? Please share your thoughts, your experiences, and your insights in the comments section below. Your story could be the very thing that sparks recognition and empowers someone else who's watching right now. If this video gave you a new perspective, offered you a spark of hope, or provided you with actionable insights to live your best life, please take a moment to give it a thumbs up. And for more practical, encouraging advice on how to live your healthiest, happiest, and most fulfilling life at every age, Make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. That way, you won't miss out on any of our future content designed specifically to help you thrive. Thank you so much for joining me on this important journey today. Remember, age truly is just a number when your spirit is vibrant, your mind is engaged, and your body is supported. Go out there and live your best life at every age, with purpose, strength, and unwavering vitality.